Yo, it's your boy Logos. And when this conflict first broke out between Israel and Hamas, I planned on doing many videos about it. Different debates, going into the history of the conflict and the region itself, and just overall taking in all the information I could so I could try to get an informed opinion. But to be honest with you, over the past couple of weeks, I took a step back from it. There's a lot of disinformation or people that's giving out information that isn't fully truthful. They care more about having you believe their side or agree with them than just presenting the facts as they are. And I think that's what matters the most. I don't think there's an easy solution to this conflict, considering the fact that Israel was attacked first and they're fighting against a terrorist organization that is known to use human shields. So these bombings and rocket attacks on both sides, it just makes it much more muddy to me, because you just can't ask Israel to not fight back against the people that are attacking them, but at the same time, innocent people getting hurt or killed because of the actions of this terrorist organization is wrong. Innocent people dying isn't something that they deserve or anybody wants to see or have happen, and those people definitely don't deserve it. But also at the same time, you just can't expect Israel to just step back and let their own citizens get kidnapped, killed, raped, or anything else that happens to them. So it's just not a clear cut solution or side to pick on this, but people clearly want to do so. And it's part of the reason why I took a step back from it. You can't expect these other Arab countries around the region to accept these people in, where Hamas and other terrorist organizations have been known to blend in within these people and then cause issues for these other governments. And that has happened within previous years. So I can also understand why these Arab countries don't want to take in refugees or people, no matter if it's wrong or not. I understand they don't want to destabilize their own governments, their own people at the same time. At the same time, trying to help other people. That's why I say it's a very messed up, muddy situation. Jocko Willenick provided a perspective and opinion on it that I did appreciate. He said that doing these rockets and bombings and stuff isn't really helping your case for Israel, and they're losing the war of public opinion because of social media and the civilians that are getting hit. Also, at the same time, you can't just not attack these terrorist organizations that are harming your own citizens. So what can you do? He suggested putting them under siege. For one reason was that there was 300 miles of tunnels under these regions that Hamas operates in, and trying to send soldiers in there is going to be a slaughter. It's going to be awful. You're going to lose a lot of your own men, and within these urban centers, you're going to lose a lot of civilians too. So it's really not a good situation all around. He suggested putting the city or the region under siege to starve Hamas out, but at the same time, I think that's going to starve out the civilians. Like I said, there's no clear-cut strategy to this type of stuff. It's a very messed up situation, and unfortunately, we have civilians and innocent people in the crossfire, like always happens in war since the beginning of time. Not every person, not every man or woman is out there on the front lines, and people that are caught in the middle often suffer the most because they can't protect themselves. They don't have access to food, water, electricity, or anything else they need to survive. And it really is sad and messed up. But like I said, I can't come to a clear definitive side for Palestine or Israel, because either way it's just not clear cut. That's the way I see it. But I'm curious to see about this debate between Cornel West and this other professor, Alan Dershowitz. From what I saw, it seems pretty biased against Cornel West, and it's just another illustration that just because it's Fox News doesn't mean they're not going to be biased, just like CNN. Every single news channel, if you ask me, has their bias, which is why I really don't trust them. As much as shit I talk about CNN, Fox News do the same thing. It is what it is. I just don't watch it. But let's get into it.
Thank you. We'll check back in with him throughout the evening time. First, left-wing bigotry, anti-Semitism running rampant on university campuses around the world, London, Australia. What's happening? Chanting in Australia, about gas chambers and, for Jewish people. What is happening on our college campuses? What is happening among the Democratic Party? Some Harvard students now are scrambling to finally rescind their support of their vile letter, actually blaming the victim, Israel, for the brutal Hamas terror attacks. Not everyone disagrees with them. 2024 presidential candidate, former Harvard professor Cornel West said the students were largely right, but they lack nuance. He joins us now with reaction, along with attorney, also Harvard professor Alan Dershowitz is with us. Thank you both for being with us. You always call me Brother Sean. I call you Brother Cornel. I'm not that happy with you tonight.
Well, that off the jump gonna tell you where Sean Hannity is gonna be putting his bias at. I said you're supposed to be an impartial person within this debate between two professors, and you're immediately gonna say usually I would call you brother, but I'm not gonna call that because I don't like you tonight because of your opinion on this. Come on, Sean Hannity, you're supposed to be an adult. And aren't you, like I have memories of this man talking trash about other news organizations like CNN, MSNBC, Democrats, such and so forth, for being dishonest or being biased or not being, I don't know, truthful or trustworthy. And then you say you are, Fox News is, but then you start off with that. Okay, man.
And we could talk about why we...
Because we have 31 groups from Harvard. Harvard's supposed to be, I always thought, the top of the top. To get into Harvard, what an accomplishment, what an achievement, what academic excellence you must show, a cut above everyone else. And 31 student groups blaming Israel, blaming the victim. And your answer to this is they are largely right? Hamas that murdered children? Hamas that murdered innocent people?
Read the rest of what I said, though, brother.
Okay.
Read the rest of what I
they
said.
are largely right, but lacking nuance.
No, I didn't say like nuance. That's the title of the piece.
Okay.
My actual words were, I'll just be very honest.
I got it here in front of me.
The words too, brother. The words were that Israel's policies of war crimes and collective punishment against Palestinians
I'll read
set
it
a
to you.
context,
Israel and the United States
Hamas
are
must take
primarily
responsibility
responsible.
for killing innocent people. Anybody who kills innocent people are engaging in barbaric acts.
You said
no matter
Israel,
who they
hang
are,
on, let me
what
quote
color,
you.
what nation, and so forth.
Israel and the United States are primarily
And the United States has
responsible.
supported and enabled.
You explain to this audience. I want you to explain. How is Israel and the United States responsible for beheading 40 children? How?
I'm talking about the context. 545 Palestinian children died in August 2004. Not one American said a word. I believe a Palestinian baby has the same value as an Israeli baby. So when you have that kind of vicious hatred and revenge, you get response of hatred and revenge. They are all wrong. They're all war crimes. They're all to be condemned. But you cannot simply look at this particular moment without the larger backdrop of an ugly occupation and the ugly attacks chronically against Palestinians.
Those are not your words. Largely right. Israel and the United States are primarily responsible for this attack. Professor Dershowitz.
Well, I complained when Palestinian children were killed, but I explained why they were killed. Here is one of the leaders of Hamas. For the Palestinian people, death has become an industry. The elderly excel at this, and so do the children. This is why we have formed human shields of the women and the children. Hamas is the ones responsible for the killing of Palestinian children. Also, Hamas has a term. It's called the CNN strategy. And the CNN strategy is induce Israel into killing Palestinian children by using them as human shields. Then parade the bodies out on CNN, and you'll see what happens. People like Cornel West will engage in crocodile tears, blame it on Israel, when the entire blame is on the Palestinians, Hamas, for using their children as human shields, and then using their children as shields to permit the killing of Israeli children.
What is Hamas's charter?
I have the same outrage when Palestinian babies are killed, when Jewish babies or Israeli babies. I want you to have the same indignation when Palestinians are killed.
Not when they're killed. Not when they're killed by Palestinians. You can't make a moral comparison. When Nazi kids were killed in the bombings of Dresden, I didn't have the same comparison when Jewish kids were put in gas chambers and crematoriums. You're a professor of theology. Don't you understand the moral difference?
Yeah, but here's the thing about those Nazi children. They was brainwashed. They was indoctrinated from a young age to go with the ideology. If you ask me, If they had a choice and they understood what they were doing, they probably wouldn't do that stuff. So like that, you're told a slippery slope with that. These children are being manipulated. I'm not gonna say I don't give a damn or they deserved or it is what it is when you having children being forced to give up their lives or forced to go down the ideology that's only gonna get them killed or suffer. And I can't go along with that because those kids, if you ask me, didn't really have a true choice. For the Nazi children or for the Palestinian children or Israeli children. In my eyes, they're all innocent and they should be protected. But also at the same time, I understand with war and bombs, you can't control who gets hit. You don't know who's at that location on the ground when you're trying to take out those targets. And if you're trying to take out military targets, whether it be bases, whether it be, I don't know, what's the word for like military factories, like factories where they produce arms and munitions, tanks, such and so forth, guns. Like it's hard to control that type of stuff because you need to take out those targets, but you don't know who's within the vicinity of those targets. And when you have certain organizations, they put people in those situations for the purpose of using them as human shields. So like I said at the start, it's not clear cut, it's very muddy. And both sides, from everything I'm hearing, have faults.
Between deliberately murdering a kid and having collateral damage because there are human shields. You're running for president of the United States. What would you do? Wait, let me tell you. Let me ask the question. Let me ask the question.
Okay.
What would you do if they were firing, if terrorists were firing at American children in America and the terrorists were hiding behind Palestinian children? Would you allow the killing of Americans to continue, or would you go and get the terrorists, even if it meant possibly collateral damage on Palestinians? What would you do?
I'll tell you exactly what I would do. First, truth and morality tend to be two casualties in any context of war. I would want to tell the American people the truth. I would tell them what the context is, how we found ourselves in this situation. I would not jump for a military invasion and a genocidal attack on a
genocidal attack
on Gaza.
No,
it's not a genocidal
where are they
supposed to go?
When you're
where are
killing
they supposed to
terrorists?
go? This is like Warsaw, 1943. Where do they go?
Where do they go?
Let
me tell you where they go. They go to the UN.
UN
is
from
keeping
Gaza to Geneva?
They go to no. The UN has places in Gaza. They go to the Rafah crossing.
11 UN people have been killed in the last few days.
They go to Egypt. They go.
Egypt, how they
wait a minute.
Get out?
They don't. Egypt don't want them because terrorists like to hide within these civilians and cause problems. Like you would think the terrorists gonna say, "Yeah, I draw the line. Yeah, of course I like kill people, I harm babies, I harm innocents, but you know, hide within the civilians and then doing that same type of stuff or getting access to the previous country I was attacking through this country is just going a step too far." Like, no, of course they're going to do that. So there is no clear, easy answer. None of these Arab countries, from my understanding so far, wants to take them in for the reasons of terrorists living amongst them. It's really sad and messed up.
The thing clear, Gaza City is very dense, but Gaza itself, the Gaza Strip, there's lots of room. The Israelis have said, get out of Gaza City, go to Rafah, go to Khan Yunis, go to other places. And you know what Hamas is saying?
With no water, no food, no electricity.
You know what Hamas is saying? Hamas is saying, don't go.
Oh, I'm not here to defend Hamas.
Well, you are here.
No, I'm not defending Hamas.
Wait a minute.
Don't you ever lie on me like that, brother. I'm defending the suffering of Palestinians.
I want to hear
and Hamas itself committing war crimes.
I want to hear you say.
Anybody who commits war crimes are barbaric. I'm saying that explicitly, but I want you to say if the Israeli Defense Forces are killing children, are they barbaric too?
No.
Are they ever barbaric?
No. If they target children.
Yes. Have they ever targeted children?
Absolutely. Never in the history
78 years.
Have they ever targeted a child
you got to get off the crack pipe, man, please.
No, they've never targeted a child.
They killed one innocent person?
Not purposely.
Since 1948?
Not
Are
purposely.
they that pure? Are they
you don't have to be very pure not to kill a child. Not to kill a child.
Let me
they killed 550
let me show
because
something.
they're being used as human shields.
Let me show something we showed on this program last night.
What
I'm about to show this audience, these are cartoons that air in Gaza for young children that are taught to hate the Jewish people. You know, just watch this for a second, and I'll have you both comment. Watch that.
لأنه اليهود أطفالهم بعلموهم على الشراسة والدمار والقتل والطخ.
تقذف بيدها الصغيرة وجوه الدمار الحقيرة رآها العدو كره طفولتها كره بطولتها صوب البندقية وأطلق الرصاصة.
Professor West,
Yes.
if you brainwash and indoctrinate young children, that you're teaching them to hate from that young age. Not good.
No.
Here's the problem.
Any kind of inculcation of hatred is immoral and wrong.
Here's the problem I have with your
brothers
piece.
and others. If there's any hatred
on a
of
second.
anybody,
Wait,
including
let me-
Palestinians,
Would you
wrong
condemn
too.
Black Lives Matter Chicago for justifying the Hamas murder by using these little airplane things and coming down on the music
260.
event?
But
I
didn't
want to
say
hear.
it. I would certainly condemn it.
You
I would
condemn
certainly
Black
condemn-
Lives Matter.
I would condemn anybody.
Okay.
It's not a matter of
I'm
skin
glad to hear
pigmentation.
you-
This is morality and spirituality.
Okay,
brother.
so you condemn Black Lives
But
Matter.
part of our challenge, though, and this is important just as a leader, you see, he asked me what I would do. I would say we've got to end occupation. We got to
This
make
has
sure
nothing to do
that
with the
Palestinians
occupations.
have the same dignity, the same rights as Israelis.
Let me ask you a
That's
question.
at the center.
Here's
That's
what-
You
at
know,
the core.
you know I support
Guys,
that.
guys,
you know
that's
I
at the
support
core.
the two-state
But I'll
solution.
see you-
But Hamas doesn't
Two-state
support the
solution, not the-
two-state solution. Hamas opposes
Professor
it.
West, I want to ask this question. Would Gaza be facing annihilation if Hamas did not attack and kill all these innocent Israelis?
Of course not.
Gaza has been facing
You're not
a
answering.
chronic
Would they be
process
facing
of
an imminent annihilation?
since 2000.
Would they be
And
facing
2000 and
imminent
what? 2000
annihilation?
and what?
Since 2006 and 7, and Gaza was taken over by Hamas. I'm not
And they
pro-Hamas. I'm pro-democracy, but I'm concerned about the suffering of Palestinian
Israel
folk.
didn't fire a single rocket until Hamas fired 5,000 rockets.
Israel controls the
starting
land, the air,
only after
containment,
Hamas
the
took
food
over.
going in, the trade
Only
coming in,
after.
and so forth. But it was already under occupation
It
since
was never.
1967.
No. The occupation ended in 2005. Learn your history.
Oh.
Sharon left. Every American, every Israeli settler, every Israeli soldier left. In 2006, it was like Singapore. It could have been the nicest place in the Mediterranean. Then Hamas
You don't
overthrew
think
them.
New York would be under occupation if another country owned its air, its space,
It didn't
its food
own
going in,
it
its
between
trade?
2006
There's
and
containment, brother. There's
2008.
containment. Let's be
Only
honest about
after
it.
Hamas
Let
took
me
over.
end with this.
Yeah.
Here's a sad fact. This debate could not be held on Harvard's campus today.
That's
correct?
right. That's right. I
Well,
would not be
depends on
allowed
what
to
part of the
speak at
campus you're
Harvard.
talking about.
I
don't want a
am
homogeneous
offering
trashing of
to go up to Harvard.
Harvard's got
with-
enough problems.
I am offering to go up to Harvard and
Let's do it.
And
Well, let's
I will
go.
moderate it.
We've debated before on many
And I don't
occasions. We
think
can go to
Harvard will let Professor Dershowitz or Professor Brother Hannity on campus
Well,
to
you
do
could
it.
go with me.
We'll all go and have a
You can
public
go
debate.
with me.
And then
I'll be
Tell you
there.
that. But the truth is going to be difficult.
Would you all like to see that in this audience?
Absolutely.
I will bring our audience with us.
Let's-
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
Honestly, I would like to see that too. So if you know they actually did do this, because I can't remember what date it was uploaded, put in the link, put a link in the comments down below, because I did enjoy this debate. I think having conversations like this, no matter how passionate or maybe how loud it gets sometimes, is valuable. You can, even though they kept cutting off Cornel West and he couldn't always fully talk his ideas, I would still appreciate having this back and forth, because you give a different perspective and opinions. We're hearing a lot of disinformation, a lot of, I don't know how I want to put it, just biased information, to be honest with you. So having somebody to just, give them their side and you could digest it and then research it yourself is appreciated. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you want me to do more this type of stuff, definitely let me know, because I enjoyed it and I want to see more debates. I feel like this is going to happen more often because I don't see this conflict ending anytime soon. It's sad, it's very complicated, and there's a lot of different variables that are involved that I really hope doesn't escalate into a full-blown war because of allies and such and so forth, especially when you have Iran and the United States involved. But who knows? Let me know what you think. It's your boy Logos. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.